Hey there, it's Gabrielle Nicolay from SpeechKids, where we teach little kids to talk and we help parents understand their little kids. And we're going to be talking about screen time for the next little bit because, as you know, everybody is on a screen these days. And we kind of love it, right? Because the screen can allow our children to see their friends and go to school and be entertained while we use the bathroom or cook dinner or do, grown-up things that need doing when everybody's home. But if you're anything like me, you also fight with yourself. And I remember when my kids were very young, I did this a lot. I fought with myself about how much screen time they could have, what types of shows they could watch, when they were and weren't allowed to have the phone. Or when the TV was or was not allowed to be on. And I always kind of would second guess myself and think, well, if I was like a real parent or if I was really good at this parenting thing, then I would know and I wouldn't have to medicate my kids with the screen. And so if you're feeling like that, you're feeling like most of us, I'm guessing. And it can be a real challenge to balance this. And much more so since my kids were very small, but there's a good amount of research now that shows that there are some differences in screen time. And so what that means is active screen time, which is when you are actually talking to a live person, seems to be different from passive consumptive screen time when you are just kind of staring at the box. And so for whatever reason, that made me feel a lot better about lots of different things, because it means that, for example, chatting with grandma and grandpa is not, it's not that it's not screen time, but it's not bad screen time, right? And so you get a pass on that, or I felt like I had a pass on that, and that made it easier, because if I wanted my kids to visit with their grandparents and we couldn't get there, then it doesn't count as screen time maybe. And again, the rules about screen time, we're going to talk about that in another video, but you get to decide what the rules are, right? So it means, for example, that your child's virtual circle time it doesn't count as their screen time. And so that starts to be a framework that you can sort of create some structure and some rules around, right? And so hopefully that is a little bit comforting. There are kids, and I have been hearing from lots of parents who say that even circle time for their very small child is too much screen time. If you've got a sensitive little person, it might be that any amount of screen time just sets them over the edge. It's not good for them. It makes them cranky or wired or any number of things. And if that's the case, then absolutely got to go with what your child is telling you, either verbally or with their behavior, right? Because behavior is communication. So if your kid is a grumpy grump after they've been on a screen for 30 minutes, maybe try 15, see how it goes. But their behavior is communication, right? And so if they're just crabby as all get out, you may have to balance things out a little bit. But that is some things to think about when we're talking about screens. Is it passive or is it active? And if it's active with a live person, you can give yourself a little bit more of a break. The other thing is, this, all the rules are off right now during quarantine, because we are having to change with current reality. So you can give yourself a break on that one too. All right, until next time, take care. Bye-bye.